If you haven't seen the previous video in this series, follow the link on your screen or click the link in the description or pinned comment below. Maximum Carnage.
47 seconds of opening logos.
Jeremy. You literally just did 47 seconds of ads before this video started. Not to mention your CinemaSins Presents title card, which tacked on another 14 seconds. If you understand the benefit of your own logo and the need to pay the bills, why do you continue sending this? How do you not see this as hypocritical?
Reform schools.
Are we arguing that reform schools are unnecessary? You're aware that reform schools are known by a different name today, right? Yeah, they're called juvie now, so what you're saying is you're cool with kids being tried as adults.
Also, welcome to the St. Estes Reform School, California.
You actually held a note there, but this is still Jeremy sings in a video cliche.
They can't take you from me. You're my one bright light.
So back when Cletus was a young prisoner, he bonded with a female prisoner he sent notes to through the pipes. And I'm not sure too many prisons keep the men on the top floor and the women on the bottom floor. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's pure fiction. Even so, the idea that his drop point in the pipes leads directly to her pickup point and a direct communication point is as dumb as anything I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, but why? I mean, you said it's pure fiction, so what's the problem? I'm not sure I understand the criticism regarding a story creating circumstances that serve the plot. You literally cannot name a fictional story that doesn't do that, so this is a nothing burger.
I will always love you!
And I...
Yep, definitely didn't hold the note that time.
Reading, or honestly, newspapers. Either works.
This is the part of the video where the movie does something CinemaSins criticizes movies for not doing, making the words on the newspaper actually follow the fictional story. The problem is that because CinemaSins got their way, their brains go into meltdown mode, so they just randomly say one word, in this case, newspapers, as if that's a sin. CinemaSins is Saw 3.
That distant cathedral is all I see. Fractured angel, the other part of me.
Who's gonna read that? It's some random haiku.
Haikus have 3 lines that go in the order of 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and 5 syllables. The first line in Cletus's poem potentially has 5 syllables if you play around with cathedral a bit. The second line only has 4 syllables, and the last line has around 10. Eddie doesn't know how to haiku properly.
And even though you went through all that pedantry, you failed to realize that was the point. Eddie Brock is not a genius, nor is he even that intelligent. They have spent 2 movies characterizing him in this manner. He's just a regular guy trying to make a joke. You don't know how to movie properly.
The only scoop I'm getting today is double chocolate chip.
No! I get brain freeze!
This is it right here, folks. If you don't enjoy this exchange about ice cream between Eddie and Venom, just turn back now. Go walk your dog. Eat a popsicle. This is a great litmus test for whether or not you will enjoy the rest of the movie.
I'm well known for my disdain of the Sony not Spider-Man universe. I have many complaints about this series, and I am not exactly happy with how my favorite comic book character of all time has been treated in this series. But if there is one thing Sony got right about Venom, it's that they are a bonded pair that banter just like this in the comics. So if there is one thing I will stick up for in this movie, it's jokes like these and Venom's goofiness, something you're obviously unaware of because Jeremy doesn't know shit about comics.
Whoa, Venom has an eidetic memory and amazing drawing skills.
I wouldn't exactly call that drawing amazing, but again, where is the sin here? An alien has fantastic powers? Gonna send E.T. for his ability to heal people? The heptapods for being able to see the future? This guy for thinking No Way Home is not that good?
Web find it.
Well, it's better than Bing, right? I mean, what idiot would suggest people use Bing?
I feel like if anyone around this mass gravesite needs protective gear and masks and goggles, then everyone should need them. But the cops are walking around here breathing in dead people particles willy-nilly. Even the dogs.
You would have thought 2 years of a pandemic would have taught you people why we use masks, but apparently not. The coroners are coming into contact with dead bodies. The police are not. Dead bodies are unpredictable, and all manner of fluids and other biohazards can suddenly squirt out of these bodies during handling. If there was an airborne hazard, they'd be wearing respirators, not surgical masks. You don't wear these kinds of masks only to protect from airborne particulates, even though they help. One of the main functions of these kinds of masks is to prevent you from touching your face, which is why people asking why do people wear masks in their cars are completely missing the point. And catching COVID.
Brock was able to uncover what the FBI and police could not.
Why is Detective Mulligan so furious? Brock had to contact the police to find the bodies. Mulligan not catching wind of this isn't on Eddie.
In the scene where you got upset about ice cream, Toxin was probing Eddie about his access to Cletus, something he has thus far been unsuccessful with. Mulligan is a detective. This case was literally his job to uncover, and Eddie undermined him by going to the sheriff's office. You literally played audio stating Eddie did something the FBI and police couldn't do. He embarrassed him, something you specifically sinned.
Keep me ahead of the curve, Eddie. Don't embarrass me. Do you understand?
Ensuring Eddie will probably embarrass you. Why do they keep giving her the daily newspaper?
Because they have been torturing her with news about Cletus.
Your old boyfriend's finally getting what he deserves. And the world will be a safer place without him.
In what world does one successful journalistic story pay the journalist enough to buy a new fancy f***ing motorcycle?
The one where that journalist lives in San Francisco, which is generally one of the highest paying cities in America. How much do you think that bike cost? It's a Ducati Panigale, which is a higher end bike, but still cheaper than a brand new car. I mean, he solved a crime the FBI couldn't and recovered 7 bodies. If that isn't enough to afford a $22,000 Ducati, he's in the wrong business.
I need to be free, feeling the wind in my hair and the sand between my toes.
Everyone dreams, I can dream too. Up there, up where the sky's ocean blue.
What's with all the singing in videos lately? I'm sure your followers thought it was funny the first couple times, but leave it to CinemaSins to run a joke so far underground it's in China.
I'm starving!
So eat those guys.
I can't. Sonny and Cher are best friends.
So he can eat random people but not chickens he shares a roof with? Venom is super picky, man.
I know, right? All those aquarium owners that eat sushi are super picky, man.
Just Chicken's Live Poultry only takes Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. So Just Chicken's Live Poultry is a dick to Diners Club.
That's because Diners Club is MasterCard, you idiot.
We are wasting our talent!
The opinions of every Sony Pictures exec after The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
This supposes Sony Pictures has talent.
But what about Into the Spider-Verse?
Into the Spider-Verse is an aberration and doesn't count. That's like saying DC has handled Batman properly because the animated series exists. Sony has made 5 Spider-Man films before Marvel took the reins, and only one of them was top tier. The other 4 you have to squint and tilt your head sideways to make a case. Then the 2 Venom movies came out and they're more of the same or worse, and now Sony has delayed Morbius again because they know that will be a hemorrhoid of a film. If I granted you Spider-Verse and even the first Raimi film, that's 3 out of 9 films that are worth a damn. Those are Russell Westbrook numbers.
Leave him be, leave him be, leave him be!
I get he doesn't want Venom to eat people, but this dude was assaulting a woman in an alley. He deserves some manner of justice.
But death, though? I'm not entirely sure I want to live in a world where we're killing people for snatching purses. The real sin here is that Eddie promised Venom he'd get to eat bad guys in the last movie, but is only stopping him because Sony needed this film series to remain PG-13 in their crusade to get this awful version of the character in the MCU.
I will take it to Lucky Strike and I will score a 300-point game!
You won't!
I have to agree with Eddie here. A decapitated head is a poor substitute for a bowling ball. Will be a messy pulp before you get to the 3rd frame. Or so I've heard.
Jeremy sends something he likes cliche.
She didn't want our help.
She did not know she needed our help, Eddie. There is a difference.
Venom would eat the most brains at CinemaSins.
Jeremy sends something he likes cliche.
It's over with the doctor! That is the voice of a woman who just got brutally dumped.
How has Venom picked up on the nuance of human relationship interactions in a year or 2?
He hasn't. That's literally the joke. Venom misreads this, and it's revealed that She-Venom and the Doctor got engaged.
Oh look, there's a single crane visible in the background of San Francisco. If they filmed this in Nashville, there would be 14 cranes in the background. Maybe more.
So, the sin here is, there aren't as many cranes as in Nashville.
No.
Okay.
You could just say congratulations, I'm happy for you.
He did say,
Holy shit, man. Way to go.
maybe it's not traditional congratulations, but it should be close enough, Ann.
Except if you played the full scene, your viewers would know that what Eddie is actually saying, wow, way to go to, was the size of the ring, not her engagement.
No!
Wow. Oh, man. Wow, that is so much bigger than the one that I got you. That's Dan, right? Dr. Dan.
Yeah, it's Dan.
Holy shit, Ann. Way to go.
You made me feel like I was on a roller coaster. And sometimes you just have to know when to get off.
There's actually only one time to get off a roller coaster. It's at the end of the ride. Otherwise, you would be jumping out while it's in motion, so most likely to your death. Why is this metaphor?
That's why it's called a metaphor, Jeremy, because it isn't literal.
I couldn't even hurt myself if I tried.
You nearly died from oversteering right now. You absolutely can kill yourself.
Another day, another misrepresentation of a scene. Eddie's point was that Venom wouldn't allow him to kill himself, and proved that by trying to in this scene, with Venom saving him by taking control of the bike, something you literally showed.
I wish I could play it for you, but Venom is singing Let's Call the Whole Thing Off during this cooking scene, and it's awesome. The sin is for the fact that I can't play it for you.
That sin is for YouTube's copyright system, not Venom Let There Be Carnage.
What if Cletus Cassidy had never been revived?
Maybe we would have had an episode of What If that was interesting?
5 sins for suggesting What If didn't have any interesting episodes. There are 9, and 7 of them are absolute bangers. Those are LeBron James numbers.
He would never have thrown a hairdryer in the mother's bathtub.
Okay, but Mythbusters did a whole thing about electronics in the bathtub, and they said it was rarely lethal, so I'll trust them over the guy on death row.
But the guy on death row is there partially because it was lethal. Besides, listen to what you're saying. Mythbusters said it was rarely lethal, not that it wasn't lethal at all. Words mean things.
I put him there.
Actually, he put himself there when he decided to be a complete lunatic.
Venom is right. I won't say that often.
Another sin for something you agreed with. How does that make sense to you?
Also, Eddie is a dumbass for even coming here again. But the movie can't happen if he doesn't, so...
Which is an interesting choice of words. I mean, the only reason you're calling him a dumbass is because the movie happens, which you said is because he comes here. This is a tautology, is what I'm saying.
You didn't mean to.
I said I'm sorry.
You didn't mean to, but you did it. I mean, you just decided, I don't know. Blah, blah, blah.
This movie isn't perfect. It might not even be good, but man, Tom Hardy is so committed to this performance, and it's a blast to watch. I'd prefer having 6 more of these over another Spider-Man something home movie.
You started off so well. There isn't a universe where this movie is more entertaining than No Way Home. Hell, it's not better than Far From Home. What type of dog food do you have to be on to think the Venom movies are better than the MCU Spider-Man films? Pedigree?
Once again, no one sees this shit. The only way this movie makes any sense is if 98% of the San Francisco population is legally blind.
How do you know no one saw this? Because the movie doesn't make a big deal out of nothing? If someone did, what you are asking for is a scene of a random person going, "What was that?" Which would add absolutely nothing to this scene.
It was just a matter of time. You literally can't set a movie in San Francisco without showing the Golden Gate Bridge. It's against the law.
Hey, CinemaSins, I have some homework for you. Define the word landmark. Go on.
Note to self, Carnage can turn into a tornado.
But remember, you said you wanted 6 more of these rather than another No Way Home.
There are 4 lit lamps in this shot. My rule is if you have 4 or more lamps on, at least one of them ought to be providing some fucking light, which these are not.
But they literally are providing light. You know what? Never mind. Jeremy points out things on the screen, cliche.
Jesus, now he does have the kitchen overhead lamp on, along with 5 others, and this place is still dim as f***. How can you be overlamping and underlamping at the same time?
I'd lay low if I was you.
That's it. Lay low? No option of some police protection or moving Eddie to a safer location? Detective Mulligan is the worst.
It's almost like he said,
I don't like you.
in other words, sinning characterization.
Nice costume.
Someone thinking this is a costume.
It literally is?
Cannot drive fast in San Francisco. At least, not unless you are a movie production that shuts down bridges and roads.
How do you watch this scene and call this driving fast? Now this is fast.
And once I kill that thing that made me, we will be indestructible.
Why? Is there a symbiote lore that dictates this? Is it like Highlander?
I know you're mentally 3, but come on, dude. He's saying once he kills the only thing that can harm him, he will no longer be able to be harmed. This laugh.
Diesel protector out!
Venom knows enough about Earth customs to understand what dropping the mic symbolizes, but can't understand that he is crashing this party and is vain enough to think Lil Sims was actually singing a song about him.
Basically, everything you just said was wrong. He's not crashing a party because crashing a party means there are invitations involved, and this party looks more like an open event. He also did not think Sims was singing about him. He just wanted to get on the mic and shit talk Eddie. I don't really understand why you think a sentient alien knows nothing about Earth after living on Earth with a reporter for nearly 2 years. He's not you.
Out of all the f***ing trees on this property, Eddie shines his flashlight immediately on the one that Cletus and Francis carved their initials in. Venom, let there be convenience.
Except it's not a convenience. Earlier, Venom drew images of St. Estes to help solve the Cassidy murders. If you were paying attention to this film like you should, you would have noticed Eddie looking through those images and finding one depicting a single tree in front of St. Estes with a heart on it. But that's obviously too much work for you.
FB, that's Francis Barrison.
As much research as Eddie has done on Cletus in the past, how didn't he already know about Francis Barrison? I would have had to come up, even if it was accidental, at some point.
Because Francis Barrison is a mutant. Yes, that kind. Everything about her was buried by the government in 1996 when Patrick killed her.
Got any of those internets?
He needed the internet, so he went to a f***ing gas station?
He also said, you got any of those internets, which would be a clue that he has no idea what the internet is. I mean, the guy has been institutionalized on and off since the mid-90s.
I wonder where he could be.
How could Cletus have typed that message in, since we saw in the previous shot that the keyboard was in Francis's main cell, which Cletus is currently standing outside of?
So you're just going to ignore the retracting tendrils in the scene you're showing, eh? Alrighty then.
That is so hot.
Naomi Harris is not saying this to me in this scene.
Oh hey, the "isn't my girlfriend" gag has returned. What, being an SJW not getting you the views you thought it would?
Oh, man.
What most people said during the previous sin.
I always said that all natural-born killers was missing was some good old-fashioned tentacle porn. And note to self, don't ever Google tentacle porn again.
Imagine being grossed out by tentacle porn in 2022. That's so 2003. We've moved on to podcasts that feature Fresh and Fit. You get to see 2 dead bodies every episode.
What do you gain from telling girls that they're not special? How does that make you feel? Because if I say you're a bitch-ass nigga, that does something for me. Again, you're forgettable. That's why I didn't want to do you guys' podcast. Forgettable. Hate the setup. The name is underwhelming. I didn't really see the value in it.
You're not special. You're like other girls. That's the key.
I'm not special.
Like,
so,
you're like other women that are
So
like...
what makes you special then?
Why the man body still right there? Call the damn ambulance.
She does that again, I'll eat her face.
I love the movie's decision to include the Shriek character, and Naomi Harris is always welcome in any film. But this is the most ridiculous team-up since Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy and Batman uses the Bat Visa card, or whatever that film was called.
But it doesn't matter what you think is a ridiculous team-up because this is based on source material. Carnage and Shriek are an item in the comics.
Put out an APB.
For who? I can't read that screen.
Well, you're either blind or you can't read English because that shit is clearly legible.
Well, you know what secrets want, Eddie? They want out. That's why they're so hard to keep.
Those sound like Ariana Grande lyrics. You know what the secret want, Eddie. Ow, they want out. That's why they're so hard to keep.
Well, we're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. Jeremy sings in a video cliche.
Tenderloin Police Station? That sounds f***ing delicious. Yes, I know there's a neighborhood in San Francisco called the Tenderloin. Just let me have my fun.
No.
You mean I need to find him?
Yeah, you need to find him, please. And then I will fix it.
I'll try.
Thank you.
But no need to figure out some idea of where Venom could possibly be. Just go drive around San Francisco. I'm sure he'll turn up.
Or she could go to Mrs. Chin's store, a place Eddie and Venom frequent due to her ability to acquire large chocolate shipments.
Oh, don't be a big baby. Go help your friend.
He said I couldn't get a job fixing toilets.
Honestly, Venom?
Nope, I'm not accepting the sinning of this scene for any reason.
I grow tired of watching people shoot bullets into Carnage or Venom.
Should he be punching and kicking? Because I might have heard you have feelings about that.
We found you. Shriek will be so pleased.
What are the odds that the cop who shot Shriek years ago is the very cop that now knows Eddie Brock and has come to check on him? They are lottery odds. Lottery odds!
And some lucky son of a bitch person just won the lottery a few weeks ago, which means that just because something is improbable doesn't mean it's impossible.
Superpowered villain with a revenge boner steals a ring.
Jeremy says boner.
A nice shiny lure for a little fishy.
And like Mary Jane Watson before, Anne is going to end up being the damsel in distress in every one of these Venom movies, isn't she?
I mean, you did ask for her to be in the movie more. It's basically an inevitability that the friends and love interests of the hero will be in danger if they themselves have no superpowers. That's the downside of being a hero and why they hide their identities.
Hello, Anne. I just incapacitated your boyfriend.
Why is that so funny?
I agree. I think that is pretty funny. But obviously you don't, because you couldn't even laugh for real.
Oh, where you going? What are you doing? This is much worse than I thought.
That is a red one.
What does that even mean? The movie never gives us an explanation, so why is this reaction? Venom is scared of Carnage because he's a red one. After Eddie promises to let Venom eat all the non-priest humans he wants, Venom comes out immediately to fight Carnage. And something seems off here. Either he was too scared of Carnage like a little bitch, or he's too easily swayed by permission to eat people like a gross little bitch.
Gonna agree here. Dumb line that makes no sense and only tangentially makes sense if you read the comics. Most normies don't know that Carnage is significantly stronger than Venom, but this movie hasn't established that at this point. Therefore, Venom has zero reason to be afraid of Carnage.
This final battle comes down to a lot of alien symbiote punch bullshit, and I have no idea who is more powerful between Venom and Carnage, and the movie chooses not to answer that question in any kind of interesting way.
And that's gonna be 2 sins. One, for doing the whole punching and kicking complaint after lamenting people trying to shoot Carnage earlier. I mean, what the hell are you asking for if not shooting or punching him? And another for lying, stating that the movie doesn't answer who is more powerful of the two. There is literally a scene of Venom stating as much.
Eddie, I'm afraid we cannot beat them.
Mayday, mayday, mayday! Cletus Cassidy! Ah!
I want Mayday, 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 Cletus Cassidy to be my new ringtone.
Cool, but misspelling Cletus Cassidy.
You didn't write about the part where Cletus was abused by Mommy, Daddy, and Granny!
Not sure I heard you say anything about this in this movie, but if you did and I forgot it, that says more about you than it does me.
You didn't, because this film is told mostly from the perspective of Eddie. This tiny piece of dialogue is one of the best lines in the film in my opinion because it casts Eddie Brock in a different light. These movies have been portraying Eddie and Venom as heroes, and Eddie in the comics actually starts out as a villain. That Eddie lied about Cletus's upbringing in his piece on the killer shows the more nefarious side of Eddie Brock as a reporter, a nod to the comics.
I'm not a crazy man.
You are.
Yeah? And you're supposed to be dumpster diving for ham scraps, you 6-piece chicken McNobody.
The news cameras are definitely here, so this monster shouldn't just be rumors in Venom 3, because everyone is seeing this
Awesome. But that would be a sin for Venom 3, not Venom 2.
You movie. I'm a huge fan, and this is still super stupid.
Who's gonna tell him?